Hello, film enthusiasts. My name is Christina, and welcome to another Let's Get Reelz movie review. Today's movie I really want to review for you is called The Light of the Moon. It is from 2017. It was released, I believe, around the end of October, beginning of November of last year. Now, I just want to put out a trigger warning because The Light of the Moon is about a woman who was raped. So if this is going to trigger any of you, please, click off this video. If you're interested in this movie, which I hope you are, please keep watching this review because The Light of the Moon is an excellent movie. The Light of the Moon is about this woman named Bonnie Gonzalez, played by one of my heart of hearts and faves of faves, Stephanie Beatriz. She is a businesswoman. She works, I don't know what kind of company, but she has some kind of account, and she just got this big account. And one night after work, her and a few of her friends go out, and her boyfriend isn't available to come out with them because he also has some kind of like client-based job, and he's like, all right, I gotta, take them around town and schmooze them and things like that. So he doesn't go out with Bonnie and her friends. Bonnie has a good time, she drinks a lot, she dances, she just lets herself go for the night. After Bonnie and her friends leave the bar, Bonnie decides to walk home by herself instead of grabbing a ride with her two friends. And she puts her headphones in and she starts walking. It's probably a walk she's done before without a problem. And unfortunately, on her way home, Bonnie is grabbed from behind by a guy and taken into this back of a building or what have you, not a very good place, and she is raped. He rapes her, and she tries to fight him off, and I think she does wind up biting him. And the rest of the movie is Bonnie trying to push what happened down and away and not talk about it, and wanting to just move on with her life and have everything be normal. And she really can't. This is just so traumatic. And, everybody around her has a reaction about, what happened to her. Well, her boyfriend knows the truth, but Bonnie never tells her friends what really happened. She never tells her mother what really happened. I'd say until the end, she doesn't tell her mother what happened. So everybody thinks that she got mugged. And they're all like, oh, are you okay? You're all right. They don't know that she was raped. She doesn't want to tell them because she doesn't want this attention brought to her. And it's changing her boyfriend as well. I believe his name is Matt, her boyfriend, if I remember correctly. He's been nicer to her. He's been trying to, get her to talk. He's been there for her. He's been, just trying to encourage her to, just become better, go to support groups and just talk out what's going on. And she's like, no, I don't want you to be nice to me. I don't want all of this, what you're doing for me, trying to be nice. It's like, he's making up for not being there. Of course he feels terrible for not being there. He thinks, the situation would have been much different had he had been there, and I'm sure it would have been. I'm sure, what happened to Bonnie wouldn't have happened. And that, what Bonnie goes through, what you can see she's going through mentally, and how Matt feels and what he's going through, how you can see the two different sides of this situation, how, Bonnie just wants to move on, she doesn't want to talk about it, and then Matt wanting to help, but he doesn't know how to help. He's trying, but you can see that, both of them are kind of butting heads. I really like that because you don't get that aspect a lot in movies. Life is like that. If you have ever gone through something, like a mental illness, like I'll give myself as an example. For a long time, I suffered through anxiety and depression and everything. And, for a while, I was just dumping it all on my mom. And that was it. I really, well, kind of. I was dumping my feelings onto my friends. I never went and spoke to anybody. Like, it's not that I didn't want to, it's just that I was just feeling so much of this emotion and anxiety and just feeling so sad that I was dumping it, you know, on my mom and on a couple of my friends. And, you know, that's kind of what Bonnie does to Matt. You know, he's the only one who knows. He's like, why didn't you tell your friends? Why didn't you tell your mom the truth? You know, you have them to talk to. But Bonnie is like, no, because I don't want it to get around. I just want everything to be normal. I really, really like that, because you know, I can't speak for rape victims. I can't speak for, you know, people who have been assaulted. You know, I can't speak for that, but I can speak as somebody who has gone through, you know, and still kind of goes through a mental illness where you just dump information on everybody. You know, you can see Matt wanting her to get better, and you can see how Bonnie just wants things to just be okay. She doesn't want to talk about it. She wants to move on. You know, she doesn't want to go to support groups. She doesn't think she's like the other women. She doesn't want to tell her story. And you feel sympathy for them both. I watched this with my brother Christian, who wants to study psychology in college. That's what he's going for right now. And both of us were like, wow, we can really, you know, sympathize with both sides of the story, both of these people, Bonnie and Matt. And, you know, I'm like rambling at this point, but I really, really like that. I think it was fantastic. And, you know, I have to give so much praise to the writer, director, and editor of this movie, Jessica M. Thompson. I mean, she did such a fantastic job. Everything about The Light of the Moon is so wonderful. It's just so different. You know, and I probably shouldn't say it's so wonderful, because the subject is really rough. You know, it's about a woman getting raped, but it's about the aftermath and how this woman who was raped, just how, you know, like, what's going on in her mind, what's going on in her life at this time, who she surrounds herself with, how she wants to deal with it, what her emotions are, how she's afraid to go out at night, but she wants to face down her fears and go out. And I really liked it. And this is, for me, this is another example of, you know, a female director, a female writer really giving audience quality and giving us a story, giving us characters that are real human beings. I'm not saying that men, you know, filmmakers and writers can't do this, but I just think, you know, female directors, female writers, and I guess Jessica M. Thompson, you know, for the editing, you really just get that, you get that emotion, you get that quality that's there, but it's not like thrown in your face. It's not like chick flick, you know, it's real life. And I admire Jessica M. Thompson so much for this movie. And, you know, even Stephanie Beatriz. Stephanie Beatriz is an actress I adore. As I said, she's my heart of hearts. I love her on Brooklyn Nine-Nine as Rosa Diaz. I cannot tell you how much I adore her as an actress. She was just wonderful. She was so wonderful and so right for this part. And maybe that does have a little bit of the fact that she plays Rosa, because, you know, Bonnie was trying to be tough, and she was. And, you know, it was a little bit of Stephanie Beatriz thrown into Bonnie, because Stephanie Beatriz is, you know, she's a normal human being. If you ever watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you know, she's got a really deep voice. And then in The Light of the Moon, it's her real voice. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I just really love Stephanie Beatriz. I really admire Jessica M. Thompson so much for this movie. You know, I really hope that this brings light to a really dark situation, that people are more aware, that women are more aware to be careful. And I really want this to show, also I have to bring this up too, I forgot, that there is a little bit of victim blaming in this, and there's nothing I hate more than victim blaming. You know, like the lawyer, she had a point in this movie. Bonnie goes to see a lawyer, and the lawyers, like, that the defense will come at her with saying, how much did you have to drink, what did you do, you know, and pretty much just pointing the finger like, it is your fault that this happened. You had your headphones on, you were drinking, you did this, you did that. You were basically just maybe like sounding like she was asking for it. And I hate victim blaming. Absolutely hate it. Unless there was like hard evidence, really, 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 really hard evidence against the victim, you do not victim blame. You don't. You do not victim blame. And I started to get really mad at that part because it's just awful. To me, that's awful when you have to victim blame. And I don't know, that just drove me crazy. You can see it. And I cannot thank Jessica M. Thompson and Stephanie Beatriz for making this movie and for having that victim blaming in there, you know, just to show you how frustrating it is, and, you know, how it's so sad it is to see somebody who is hurt and somebody who is mentally not well, you know, react to this. And again, ramble about In the Light of the Moon. Please forgive me for that. But I was really looking forward to seeing this movie, just to see how different it was, and for so many reasons, not just because of Stephanie Beatriz, who I adore. It was just, you know, the topic was different, it's relevant, especially today, and, you know, it's just sad that women are still going through this and feeling ashamed. Again, that was a ramble of In the Light of the Moon. If you like this ramble, or if it was in any way a review, please give us a thumbs up. Please leave a comment down below if you have seen In the Light of the Moon. I would really like to know what your thoughts are, how you felt, how this made you feel, anything about this movie. Please leave them in the comments below. If you guys like Jessica M. Thompson, whatever movies she's made, if you have seen them, please leave them there, because I would really, really like to see her other work that she has done. If you like Stephanie Beatriz, leave whatever comments you got for her there. If you're a fan of her as Rosa Diaz on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, let's talk about her continuously. Also in the comments, if you have any suggestions of what I should watch next, leave them there, and if I pick your movie and I watch it and I review it, I'll give you a shout out. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for future Let's Get Reelz movie reviews. And as always, keep watching movies and stay absolutely fabulous.